I get up at 5 o'clock every morning because I know I'm coming out here. I ain't done that in 35 years. I've never had nothing to look forward to getting up to. It's home. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. However long that is, but this is what I want to do.
I spent the better part of 30 years trying to find something positive out of all of this. And this was the best thing I found. And I seem to fit right into it. And it's comfortable. So I guess I'm meant to be here.
Yeah, we got the water lines done today too,
Unlike
right?
last year.
These are two of the most unlikely farmers, Ray and John. They met here at this farm in Mission, BC 6 months ago.
Yeah.
A convicted murderer and a victim of crime, both looking for a second chance.
That's cool, but look at that, it's ever grown nice. I am a convict. I'm doing a life sentence. I've been in for 3 decades. Still in. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be in. March 5th, 1985, I was charged with second-degree murder. It's just something I can't undo. Something I gotta live with. The victim's family's gotta live with. Mother lost her husband. Kid had to grow up without a father.
That night in 1985, John and 2 accomplices pretended their car had broken down. Then they robbed and killed the Good Samaritan who stopped to help them. In prison, John continued to be violent, and for 20 years he was kept in special handling units and had little contact with the outside world.
I watched a maple leaf blow in over the fence one day. One guy stabbed another guy over that leaf. It was just so nice to have it, to feel it, to touch it. And 2 guys argued over the leaf. One guy got stabbed. He got stabbed pretty bad, too, over a leaf. When you see that, you actually realize in your mind, like, wow, that could have been me doing that to him, because I wanted that leaf, too, just as bad as these guys did. One guy was more hateful. One guy it meant more to than it did to me, than it did to the next guy.
When you hear that, it's pretty easy to understand why John wants to be at the farm. But imagine for a moment that you're a victim of a serious crime. Maybe that offenders are stabbing each other is the kind of thing you want. It's revenge. But does it have to be that way? The idea of these 8 acres is for victims and offenders to come together, work beside one another, and maybe begin to understand each other.
Whoa, what a day.
This is Ray King. It's hard to imagine anything worse could happen to a father than what happened to Ray.
Tell me about your son.
Well, but he was 15, typical teenager, out looking for a job for the summer. Had a lot of friends.
What was he like?
He played soccer, he played football, was pretty artistic. And he had a good life ahead of him.
One afternoon in the summer of 1981, Ray Jr. was picked up by serial killer Clifford Olson.
I guess Olson was pretty good at talking to kids. So apparently he drugged him with chlorohydrate, so he says, and took him out to Weaver Lake where he raped him and drove a nail into his head and he smashed his head with a rock apparently and just left him there like a piece of garbage.
Olson was arrested and eventually died in jail. The death of his son almost killed Ray King.
I was living on alcohol and cocaine for probably a year and a half. I guess I was trying to kill myself. I don't know. Well, I didn't try hard enough. But
In those days, what did you think about people in jail?
I lumped them all together. They were all Clifford Olson. And I didn't want to hear about them. I didn't want to talk to them. I just wanted it all to go away. I was just a mess. I guess turned people off a lot. I mean, I'd get just absolutely nuts. I'd explode in anger for no reason at people that didn't deserve it, and so they left. And that's pretty much what it was for most of that 30 years.
I mean, it sounds like a sentence, what you're talking about.
So yeah, it's a life sentence. I mean, it still goes on. It'll go on until I die. With anybody that's been in this situation. You know, how can you not miss your kids forever?
What does this place do for you?
I come here and all there is here is life. And all I've been dealing with since 1981 is death. It's such a welcome change.
Strawberry bed. Look at the straw. I got to do the canopy here next.
It's remarkable that these two men spend time together here. Ray King, victim of a heinous crime, and John, who committed one.
These are all small ones here.
Yeah, well, they're getting choked out by the weeds.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's good. Okay, I'll have one. Thank you.
At the end of the day, Ray heads home. John goes back to prison.
They're awesome.
Oh, wow.
If they can help each other, could this farm represent a whole new way of looking at crime and punishment?
That'd be good stew. Pour it over biscuits.
As the sun rises in Mission, you'll find Glenn Flett watering the flowers downtown. Flett's up at 3:30 every morning to get this done before he heads to the farm. The farm was his idea. And the money he makes watering and whatever grants he can get is how he pays for it.
Last year in the summertime when we didn't have any money, this is all the money we were making off of this job here. Financially it's tough getting that farm going, and we almost lost our home and stuff, but well, we're going to keep going until we make this work, right?
Flett will do anything to keep the farm going because he knows how powerful it can be for offenders to meet victims. You see, Flett is an offender himself. He was convicted of second-degree murder and has been out on parole for 10 years.
Mr. Van Slyteman was a man I murdered during a holdup in Toronto in 1978. I shot him and I didn't know him, and then I went to jail for life. And I was fortunate enough when I just about 10 years ago met his daughter and was able to reconcile with her. And this is sort of a fruit of that.
Flett says that when he met the daughter of the man he killed, he really understood what he did.
Okay, a little bit more, all right to the end.
And ever since, he's been trying to make up for it as best he can.
We have some Romanian, how about radishes? Do you want some radishes?
Yes, I do. Beautiful.
Sometimes that's as simple as giving out free veggies to victims, like Carrie, who comes here every week.
You've got a green thumb for sure.
Well, I don't know about that. I have a lot of help. I'm not living in my guilt. What I'm living in is my best. And I'm thankful that I have this. And sadly, it took that tragedy to bring me to where I'm at today. But yeah, this just every day just makes me prove to myself, not to anybody else, that I'm doing my best. That's it.
It's been a struggle for Flett to get Corrections Canada to let offenders come to the farm. Still, last year 20 offenders did work here. And Flett says he won't stop pushing for more. He wants offenders to have the same experience he did.
Grass was brown.
It's a good thing we got the drip lines.
Yes.
To meet not necessarily their own victim, but victims of crime.
I love it out here. I work out here, man. I don't care. This is home. What do I tell them all the time? Put my bed out here. You don't even have to count me.
This is something that just doesn't happen. Victim and offender sitting across from one another. The farm allows for moments like this.
How you doing, girl? Yeah. Boy, it was bad. The house last night was just hot.
Yeah?
Just cooking hot. It's just fans are on, all they're pushing is hot air.
I spent the weekend in the hot tub.
Oh, that's gotta be, yeah, that's gotta be nice.
After a while, John starts to talk about what he wants his victims to know.
Yeah.
I want them to know it's not all for nothing. It's like people change over time. People gotta heal.
Yeah.
It's a hard road, too.
It is for them, too.
Yeah.
Because they're probably all still angry.
Oh, yes.
And anger
Yeah, you feel all that.
stops the healing
Yeah.
process, as I found out.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you came here and interacted with offenders?
But yeah, they thought I was one of them. And then as time went by, I got to talking to them and saw that they were just people like anybody else. So this is an important place for me to be. I think the biggest thing is my change in attitude towards these guys who have made a mistake, and they understand that and they're making up for it, or trying to.
I grew up basically hating society, and I didn't know better. You know, your community, it's like I said, that's your community is your family too. I always grew up thinking they were the enemy.
What would you like to say to Ray?
Ray, I got much respect, much love for, and he's got himself a true friend. Sorry for what happened to him. But I do know his feelings. At least I think I do. Still see the hurt in his eyes. And still see the hope for him. For his healing. And moving on.
I don't know how I managed to hang on for 30 years, I tell you.
So I do.
Sometimes I wonder.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
I
wonder
hear you.
what it was, because I never thought I had that kind of strength, ever.
Well, you got that strength.
But,
You're giving me strength.
oh, that's good.
Yeah, you honestly do, boy.
Do you want to be friends with a guy like John?
I don't have a problem with that. Or getting to be, you get to know these guys and they seem okay.
You sound wary, though.
Well, yeah. I'll get around to it.
I guess what I'm sensing, it's amazing that you're even here.
I think so. And, you know, baby steps. We'll get there.
You watch John here at the farm and you could forget that he's actually serving time. I find myself asking, does he deserve to be here?
If someone watches this and they say, well, these guys don't deserve to be out here doing this, what would you say?
Well, how's this? I don't know if they deserve this. You know, I think they owe this. That's how my perspective is. This isn't about, you know, oh, gee, aren't you getting a break? No, no. This is about give somebody else a break. Get out here and do something for victims, for the community, for other people besides yourself. Not just sit in your cell and mope and feel sorry for yourself and think you're a victim yourself. That's what happens if you lock people in jail forever. They start thinking they're victims.
There's no magic solution here. And of course, no two victims are the same. But if the farm can help someone like Ray, then maybe it can help others.
Lunchtime, guys. Tuna sandwiches.
Oh, right on.
John's next chance at parole is in June of 2018.
Well, they did really good.
Ray King now drives offenders back and forth from the farm to the prisons.
helping them helps me. There are so many people in my situation sitting at home doing nothing, just going quietly crazy, wondering how to make sense of everything. And I hope they do.
Ray King Jr. would have turned 50 years old this year.
I know this is what Ray would want, and that's important too. He'd be right behind me.
What do you mean, like pushing you along? Saying,
He'd be here too. He was that kind of guy. He just thought everybody deserved second chances, and third chances, and fourth chances. You know, especially me.
Nick Purdon, CBC News, Mission, British Columbia.